everyone, and welcome to the next lesson in the series on AWS Fundamentals. So today I'll be teaching you about how you can lock your objects in an Amazon S3 bucket. So let's get straight into it. Okay, so go ahead and click on Amazon S3. Okay, let's wait for this to load. Okay, and you want to go ahead and create a bucket. Now, before we move on and create the bucket, I just want to mention something. So what I mean by locking our objects, okay, is that no one will be able, once it's locked, to delete or to modify it. And we can set a period of time in which users won't be able to delete and modify this specific object. Okay, so we can set a retention period. Okay, so I just wanted to give you a bit more information on that. Okay, we will get to the rest of it shortly. So now we just want to create a bucket. Now you can give it any name you want. So I'm going to say my bucket. And I would advise you to go ahead and just say OL or object lock on this bucket, so you know which bucket, which Amazon S3 bucket has the object lock property enabled. So I'm just going to say 96 here. Okay, you can leave everything as default here. Block all public access. You can take this off and you can turn on public access. This is fine. Okay, now you want to scroll down until you see the section here called Advanced Settings. Now you'll need to click on this here to see what is under the section, and that will be Object Lock. So as we can see here, the main purpose, if we enable Object Lock, is to store objects using the worm model. Okay, and this is going to help prevent objects from being deleted or overwritten for a fixed amount of time, and you can even do it indefinitely. Choice is yours. So go ahead and enable this. Now, something to be aware of is that once we've enabled object lock, automatically this Amazon S3 bucket will have bucket versioning on. Now, for those of you that don't know what bucket versioning is, I did cover that in my last set of videos, so go ahead and check that out if you're a bit confused. For those of you following, you're aware of what bucket versioning is. So we can go ahead and just say I acknowledge, okay, this is fine, and you can create the bucket. Now do make sure you remember this bucket. So here it is. So my bucket object lock. So it must just make sure you have object lock in the name, or else you'll be a bit confused. Okay, great. So what we want to do is go ahead and upload an object. So in this case, I'm just going to upload a file. Let's just upload a picture. That's fine. Okay, you can upload any object that you'd like. So I'm gonna, in this case, I'm uploading an image. Just go ahead and upload it. Okay, that's fine. You can now close this. And there is our object. All right, so if we go ahead and say show versions, we can see we currently have one version here, but do bear in mind we have bucket versioning enabled. All right, so what we want to do now is click on our object, and we actually want to enforce a retention period on our object. So if we scroll down, okay, scroll down, and scroll to the bottom until you see object lock retention. Okay, so this is where we actually going to set a fixed amount of time, okay, to prevent this object from being deleted or overwritten. So we can see it's disabled. We want to enable retention mode. So hit edit. Okay, enable retention. Okay, go with compliance mode. So in this case, no user can overwrite or delete this object during the retention period. Okay, now with the retain date, make sure that you choose an appropriate date. So for me now, it's the 9th of September. So go ahead and just set it for a day for you. So within 24 hours would be perfect. Make sure you don't set it to like 24 years or something crazy like that, because then you're going to have a bit of a problem. Right. So once you've set the retention date, you can go ahead and just double check which object you're setting this retention period on. So it's now on this picture that I uploaded, so I can save the changes. So be sure you double check the date, because if you set it too long, if you set it like 24 days or like I said, 24 weeks, okay, you're going to face an issue where you won't be able to delete that object, and you won't be able to delete that bucket either until you wait that long. So I advise double check and only set it for a day, because then tomorrow you can go ahead and delete that bucket from AWS. Okay, so just be aware of that, very important. Okay, so go ahead and save the changes. Okay, there we go. Let's go back to our bucket, check out our objects, go ahead and show versions. So let's actually attempt now to delete this object. So let's go and click here, go to delete. Okay, and you just want to type in here permanently delete. So I like to just copy this here and say delete objects. And there we can see there's a failure. So it says access denied, failed to delete. Okay, and this is because we have gone ahead and enabled a retention period and locked our object for 24 hours. So no user can go ahead and modify this object. No user can go ahead and delete this object. So it's in a retention lock period. So as we saw, we have until 24 hours until you could say the hold has been released, and then we can go ahead and actually delete this object, and in the process go ahead and delete the bucket as well. So do bear that in mind. Okay, so this is S3 object lock. So this is very helpful if you want to protect your objects from people possibly deleting them or modifying them. It's actually a very helpful tool, especially for compliance. Okay, if you're in an organization or working for a company and you have very sensitive documentation that you don't want anyone to accidentally delete or modify. Very helpful. Only tricky thing is you must be very responsible when you go to setting the retention date. So do bear that in mind. Okay, so that's it on S3 object lock. So I hope it was helpful for you and that you liked it. So thank you again, guys. See you. Oh, and just one quick thing, just be sure that you go back and check your object lock and make sure that you actually delete it after 24 hours. So make sure that you do that, okay? So something I just wanted to remind you guys with. So do bear that in mind, okay? So yeah. Okay, so sorry guys, yeah, that is it. So just remember that. So remember the time that you set on the retention period for your object to just go ahead and delete it, okay? Just it's important to remember that. All right, so that's it. See you guys.